Well, this is an interesting topic. You can see the link down in the description. But one fan called Tune for Thought asked the question, will Sunset Shimmer ever make a meaningful return to Equestria? You know, this is a question that apparently has been getting asked a lot in the fandom. You know, will Sunset ever return? And, you know, a lot of people say that it's all dependent on Hasbro because they they basically call the shots. But if you have someone like Megan McCarthy becoming the new head executive producer of all shows Hasbro related, or under the Hasbro license, then I would have to say that Sunset going back in a very meaningful way, I wouldn't take it off the tables just yet. Because, let's be honest, every executive producer, director, screenwriter, script writer, you name it, every single one of them knows that if they have a plot hole, or they have a situation that needs resolution, and they know that fans are going to be demanding of said resolution somewhat down the line, then you got to make that resolution happen somehow. There have been numerous amounts of series, live action, animated, that have had similar situations to where a plot hole has been left open that needs to have resolution to it, and the executive producers the executive producers in charge will decide whether or not it gets a proper resolution. Like I said, some live action shows, too many I can think of. Some animated shows, too many I can think of. Movies, animated and live action, too many I can think of, have had these similar situations to where the executive producer, the one that's calling the shots in the end, has to approve of said idea for a certain resolution to take place. A good example of this is the upcoming Toy Story 4. Toy Story 3 left a plot hole unsolved, or unresolved, and that was what happened to Bo Peep. Now Toy Story 4 is happening, and the executive producers behind it have given it the green light to give resolution to that answer, to that plot hole. So, as far as Sunset going back to Equestria and reconciling with, let's say, Celestia, and finally reconciling with the main six, not the humane six, but the main six, besides Twilight and Starlight, but with the others, like I said, I won't take it off the table yet, because Megan McCarthy, I believe, realizes, hey, I think, honestly, Megan McCarthy is going to realize, hey, we need to bring some resolution to this is once and for all before we probably put this show, before we decide to call, before they decide to, what's the saying? I'm trying to think of what I'm going to say here. But before they decide to give the show a proper send-off. And I'm talking both Friendship is Magic and the Equestria Girls digital series. They have to come up with Megan McCarthy, I believe knows they have to come up with some kind of resolution to that plot hole. They really do. Now, there will be some that will say, well, Sunset kind of already reconciled with Celestia through that friendship journal that she had before she had to get a new one that was going to be between her and Twilight. And that might be true. That might be true. But when fans talk about Sunset reconciling with Celestia, they're not talking about her writing in a journal and that's the way she communicates with her. No, they're talking about Sunset going back to Equestria and coming face to face, pony to pony with Equestria, embracing each other, and thus have both of them embrace each other with tears in their eyes and thus reconcile for what they had done, or for the differences they had between each other, or what tore them apart, or what have you. That is what fans are talking about when it comes to reconciliation. And again, I truly believe Megan McCarthy probably realizes this is a plot hole that eventually they're going to have to fill. And if it's not Megan, it's going to be Nicole Duboc that probably brings this to Megan's attention. And it's like, hey, this needs to be solved. This needs to have some resolution so that we can move on. So when I hear fans like Tune for Thought asking that question, again, I'm in agreement with a lot of people. It's ultimately up to Hasbro, but it's ultimately, in my opinion, up to the executive producer of all Hasbro series. And that, in this case, that's Megan McCarthy. And the one that can help her make that final say happen is the new executive producer of the show, Nicole Duboc. So if those two can come together and make that decision a reality and say, okay, we need to get Sunset Shimmer back to Equestria, have her reconcile with Celestia and Luna, reconcile with all of Equestria, reconcile with the rest of the main six besides Twilight and Starlight, then it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And be honest, in my opinion, it will happen. I truly believe it will. But I think what Megan and Nicole might do, if it becomes a reality, is they're going to wait until the show is ready to have a proper send-off. In other words, they're going to wait until both shows get into a final season, and then they're going to say, okay, green light it, go for it, let's get Sunset back to Equestria, let's have a reconcile, and go from there. And you know what? If they decide to do another EQG movie because of it, and it mostly becomes a crossover between Equestria Girls and Friendship is Magic, basically that's how the movie is, or movie would become, or focused on, and that's how they get Sunset back over, then so be it. If they got to make the fifth Equestria Girls movie a crossover between both My Little Pony properties, then so be it. Make it happen. The point is, I truly believe, yes, they're going to get Sunset Shimmer back to Equestria, and not just for a brief moment or so, where you can have a dream meetup where you can have a fan's dream up between her and Sunset, between her and Starlight become a reality. But I truly believe they are going to try to get her back to actor towards the end of the series, which could be in a couple of years, obviously, let's be honest. Or it could be a lot sooner than that. And I'm not talking the end of the series, but the idea to get her back to Equestria, that being Sunset Shimmer, could happen a lot sooner than we expect. But honestly, again, it is Hasbro's call, but mostly it's the executive producer of all Hasbro shows right now, and that's Megan McCarthy, and possibly the executive producer of Friendship is Magic, Nicole Duboc. It's up to those two to make that a reality, to come together and say come together and say that they need to fill the gap in this plot hole and put resolution to it, with Sunset going back to Equestria and reconciling, like I said, with Celestia, Luna, the rest of Equestria, and besides Starlight and Twilight, the rest of the main six. So honestly, I do believe it's going to happen. I do believe it will happen. I do believe it's going to happen. It's just going to take time. And it may happen within the next year. It may happen within the next few years. But it's going to happen. But believe me, it's going to happen. And whether it happens as a crossover event where you have to tune in to YouTube or Netflix and watch Equestria Girls, the series, to see the first part, and then tune into Discovery Family to see the second part, so be it. If it ends up being done as a movie, a fifth Equestria Girls movie, then that's good too. Whatever it is, and that's used as a crossover between the two properties, fine. Whatever it is, I truly believe it's going to happen, but it may not happen, right away. It may happen around next year, next season, and it may happen around the next few seasons. So we'll just have to wait and see. But do I think Sunset Shimmer is going to come back? To answer Tune for Thoughts question, yes, absolutely. I truly do believe she's going to be back, because I don't think the writers and the creative staff of both MLP shows are going to leave this plot hole left unresoluted. So that's all I'm going to say on it. Let me know what you guys think down below. Comment if you like. I'll provide a link down below, if you don't see it already, to the topic at the MLP forums. And let me know what you guys think. Comment down below. Do you think Sunset will be back? How do you think it will happen? Let me know down below. Comment if you like. And I am out. Take care. God bless. And yes, comments and replies are welcome. I am out.